I think, after all that, right? Like then I was like, all right, I should learn how to rock a party. And then I learned how to produce through doing remixes. And my production at first was informed by my DJing, right? So like just anecdotally, like 2004, 5, 6, I was working on some tracks that were very sample based, and it was sort of like, you know, scratch based production that was inspired by like Shadow, RJD2, Madlib, Dilla, RZA kind of stuff, which I still love and always will love. But by 2005 or 6, I was starting to play like up tempo and like electro music and going to Europe and bringing back fidget house tracks and, you know, early Ed Banger, Crookers kind of stuff, and doing mashups and doing my Dirty South dance mixes. And then I would go back to my studio and make like, uh, you know, a instrumental hip hop beat. And there was a point where I was like, well, why am I, shouldn't I be making the stuff that I want to play, right? So that's when I started producing club music and doing remixes and early Fool's Gold productions and all that stuff. Learn how to produce for years and years and years. I still don't think I know what I'm doing, but that's whatever. Uh, and all throughout, I was still obviously scratching. I never stopped doing that. And I would always come up with little tricks for my sets and transitions and at least like an intro and that kind of stuff. But I feel like in recent years, there's the loop closed itself in a way where I really noticed a point in recent years where I felt like after years of learning how to produce, I started thinking about my DJ sets and my routines with my producer ear, which is a new tool that I didn't have when I was doing battles when I was 16 or however, you know? And now when I make uh, these new tricks and routines and whatever and work in the technology and, you know, make it hybrid and futuristic and whatever, I think I I have a new tool that isn't only the new technology. It's my production know-how that I learned, that I accumulated, you know, through making tracks and remixes or whatever. And that's the part that I find interesting whenever I try to like think of like how, you know, how to approach these turntablistic tricks to implement into my sets and to make them so that someone in the crowd who doesn't think they care about turntablism will enjoy it. Because that's a big part of the mission for me, is to conquer new fans and to win over new audiences, right? Like I'm always trying to um, I'm always trying to reach that person in the crowd who doesn't think that they're interested in hearing scratching, but when you present it to them in a way that's undeniable and just cool, they're going to enjoy it, and then they become, you know, a fan not just of me but of the art form ideally. And I think the way to capture those people is with the know-how of a producer, right? Because without that, you just scratch for 20 minutes and like, you know, bore people. But with that, you present it in a way that's musical, that's compositional. You know, you choose the scratch sample that matches the beat, that, you know, doesn't interfere with frequencies that are in the beat, and like the transitions from one trick to the next have to flow a certain way. And that, yeah, that's been something I've thought of a lot more in recent years.